you checked out all the new handicappers at Wager Talk? If not, here's your chance. You can take 50% off your first daily or 3-day all-access purchase at Wager Talk using coupon code TRYWT. Our new roster of experts is 30 deep, covering sports from all around the world, giving you tons of options to choose from. All you have to do to redeem this offer is go to wagertalk.com, choose a handicapper of your choice, and use coupon code TRYWT at checkout, saving 50% on your first purchase.
Hey guys, Carmine Bianco. Welcome to Wager Talk TV and Puck Time. This is the Wednesday Hump Day show. Only a couple games on the card, but still a few things to discuss. With me, of course, is one of the founders of and owners of Wager Talk, the Prez. So let's bring the Prez in. Andrew's still on holidays, but he will be back on Monday. Prez, good morning. You're looking super excited to be here today, man.
You know, dude, it's ironic because I was so excited to be here that I didn't sleep. And then it backfired because now I don't want to be here and I just want to go to sleep. So, well, I don't know.
The great thing is
I attacked it incorrectly, man. I wish I just wasn't that excited.
We have an over under of 33.5 minutes on this show with only 2 games to go. If Joe Ranieri was here, he would say lay the lumber on the over 33.5 minutes. But listen, I want to talk about a few things because the ironic thing is both, you're a Leaf fan. They're in action tonight at home against producer Dan's Philadelphia Flyers. And, of course, the Buffalo Sabres are in action against the Pittsburgh Penguins. So we've got a little bit to talk about with those ones and teams that we discussed. But I've got a couple images here I want to put up on the screen and discuss these before we even get into these games and then into the first one, the Toronto game. But you look at this one, and this is from Money Puck, and it shows the top 10 teams' rankings, obviously after the first 9 or 10 games. And you look at it, and Carolina's up top. New Jersey's right there, and we're going to show another image with New Jersey, right, which I think sort of strengthens the fact that their power ranking is 3 right now. But you look at those teams, and is there anybody there that shouldn't be there?
Yes,
myself, I think Tampa Bay.
New Jersey.
You think New Jersey shouldn't? You think New Jersey shouldn't be there?
I'm high on this team. I like them. They are definitely heading in the right direction. But come on, man! Like the 3rd best team in hockey. Yeah.
Well, it is. Yeah. It is power rankings based on the sample of 9 or 10 games right now. I get it. In no world do you put New Jersey behind or ahead of the Colorado Avalanche or the Calgary Flames.
Even if it's based on the last 10 games, how are they above the Vegas Golden Knights?
And that's where we'll get to because we'll put up the second stat, which is this is 5-on-5 defense in the NHL right now. And look at the New Jersey defense right now, 1.73 expected goals against per 60 minutes, 5-on-5. They're playing well. And this is a team where not a lot of people think, or a lot of people think they are probably one very good goalie away from being a playoff team and one that could get out of at least the first round of the playoffs. And conversely, we're going to look at the Sabres tonight. Look how bad those numbers are, 29th, and yet they have, I think, right now a winning record, but they're scoring goals. They scored 8 against Detroit, and Comrie didn't look good at all. Comrie stopped 15 of 18 shots. If Detroit had actually gotten some pucks to the net, that score line in that game would have been a lot different than 8-3. But it's hard to discount the fact that New Jersey's their 5-on-5 defense right now looks very good.
It certainly does, Carm, but it is a small sample size. It's not something I expect to continue. They don't have world-class goaltending. This is a team that is up and coming. And look, so is Buffalo, Carm. Again, Buffalo is, to me, just bet them over. I mean, we're going to discuss the game later that they're playing in tonight. And I mean, just bet it over. And I think those numbers show that.
Now, one thing I wanted to discuss because, and this is before we actually get into the Philadelphia and Toronto game, is if you're someone north of the border, and I know Twitter sets up what's trending to do with your area, but all you see is trending is Keefe, Leafs,
yeah.
Dubas. It is there's an outcry that everyone wants after this road trip in which they won in Winnipeg and then they lost 3 straight games, including the last one to Anaheim. Everyone wants someone fired, someone chopped, someone traded. The funny thing is here. I get in on it too, Prez. I egg you on about this stuff, but you don't hear any talk about these teams. St. Louis 3-6, Washington 5-6, Pittsburgh 4-6. Florida, a Stanley Cup favorite, 5-5. Minnesota, 5-5. So Toronto's 4-6 after 10 games. It's not time to panic. It's 10 games into the season. The reason you see all of this is because Toronto's fan base, as Prez, you'll tell everyone, literally goes from coast to coast in Canada. There are so many transplanted Torontonians throughout Canada that no matter where the Leafs go in Canada, it's a home game for Toronto.
Carm, let me say a couple of things. Firstly, I'm a Leaf fan and I'm a homer. Flat out. With that said, I want Sheldon Keefe fired. And it's not that I'm anti-Sheldon Keefe. I think he'll be a great coach over his career. It's that Barry Trotz is sitting around with nothing to do. And, if Bill Belichick doesn't have a job and wants one, surely some NFL team would just fire their damn coach and hire him. I mean, we are talking, in my opinion, the best coach in hockey right now. Okay, him, John Cooper, but it's certainly a top 5 coach. And
but do you
not
think,
only that, yeah.
Okay. No, I was going to say, do you think one of the obstacles of, let's say, Trotz coming to Toronto is the fact that if he's going to come in, Toronto needs a different GM. I'm not sure Trotz is going to mesh with Dubas, so they've both got to go. If that's the case.
No, I don't necessarily agree with that. I actually think Dubas is fine. I have no, but look, in order to get Barry Trotz, I'd fire them all. So nothing from my perspective should come in the way of Barry Trotz. As well, I just want to point out, and you mentioned all of these teams that aren't doing well. Toronto started last year 2-4. Like, relax, everybody, man. Jesus, my God.
Well, this is, Andrew and I have talked the first 2 weeks of the season about overreactions. Do not overreact to the first 2 weeks of the season. Some very good teams like the Philadelphia Flyers, who we're going to discuss in a minute, they're playing well, but this is a team that were lined to have 67 points on the season by the bookmakers, and they're likely going to end up somewhere around that at some point. The Chicago Blackhawks, a team that had a good start to the season, don't overreact. They've now lost 4 in a row, and they're going south again. And the Colorado Avalanche, maybe they do have Stanley Cup hangover, but you can't overreact to the first 2 weeks of the season. It is not at some point that variance or regression for the bad teams playing well is going to kick in. I don't think anyone should really worry. Let's see what the next 10 game segment brings.
Yeah, I mean, well said, dude. I mean, the Avs 4-4, like, yeah, we've just started the season. Everything's going to be just fine for the Toronto Maple Leaf fans until likely we get to the playoffs. But hey, Carm, if we got to lose the next 5 games in a row to get Barry Trotz, I'm down with that, bro. I am down.
Well, with that said, the first of those 5 games that you're talking about is tonight. So let's have a look at the numbers for this one. The Leafs are a heavy -315. The Flyers +255. The puck line is -1.5, -130, and the over/under is 6.5. Prez, I'm going to throw a couple things at you, which I when you're looking at this game. First of all, Philly played last night, and that game went to OT. This is their third back-to-back game this season. Sandstrom has been in goal for all three. This will be his third time. He was in goal for those previous two back-to-backs, lost them both, 4-3 at Florida, 3-0 at home to San Jose. You've got Samsonov in goal. Leafs are 4-6. He's got all four wins. He's 4-2, 3-0 at home, 1.96 goals against average, 927 save percentage. And the Leafs beat the Flyers all three times last year by 3 goals, an identical 3 goals in each game. The one interesting stat for me, when you talk about Samsonov, is as good as he's been at home. He's only played 3.5 seasons. He's a good goalie. His career road record, and I know they're at home tonight, 34, 11, and 5, 2.87 goals against average. That's actually an unbelievable statistic for a goalie on the road, and that's through 3.5 seasons. For me, it's plain and simple. I'm taking the Leafs -1.5. It is actually a client play. It's not available for sale, but it's one of my client plays today. Leafs -1.5, -130 is where I'm looking. Prez?
Yeah, listen, just based on how competitive my nature is, I'm taking the Leafs -2.5.
Do you know what the number is on that?
No, because I am not taking the Leafs -2.5, but I will say you guys should go ahead and take the Leafs -2.5. Carm, I mean, this
the
game
Leafs
has
-2.5 is +140.
Yep, there you go. I would take the Leafs in the first period. I would take the Leafs -1.5. I would take the Leafs -2.5. Throw a sprinkle on the Leafs -3.5. What's this? 6-1 is my predicted score. What is the -3.5 line?
The -3.5 on the Leafs is +300.
There you go.
So
I'm officially giving out a +300. Carm, you know what? This is one of those situations where it's a great spot to bet Toronto, and it's a great spot to bet against Philadelphia. Firstly, from a market perspective, and I cannot stress this enough, I talk about it in the presidential address all the time. Buy low, sell high. We got the Philadelphia Flyers probably at the highest market value they're going to have all year today, right now. And that's a perfect time to sell on the team. We have the Leafs, and I guarantee you that this is the lowest market value you will find the Leafs all year. Just coming off a West Coast trip where they absolutely stunk. This is the perfect time to buy on Toronto. And on top of all of that, the Leafs, I don't want to say must-win mode because honestly lose so we can get Barry Trotz. But the Leafs have to turn this around and have to turn it around now. Sheldon Keefe is got to be worried about his job. Yeah, I'm with you on the Leafs -1.5, but guys, I would bet the Leafs in every direction here. I had sunny side up, I had sunny side down, I had sunny side all the way around. Where's that reference from, people? Put in the chat room where that reference is from.
I have absolutely no idea where the reference is. Maybe they will come up with it. But I get your point. If this game was being played 30 games into the season, the Leafs are probably -400 and change in this game, in this venue against this team. But you got to give credit to Tortorella. He's doing the same job he did with Columbus, which was, we might not have a lot of good scorers on this team. Every night we are going to be an underdog. Let's take the underdog role and take it onto the ice. He did it well in that playoff series against Tampa Bay. He literally said to his team, we're supposed to get eliminated in 4 straight in this first round. And instead they turned the tables on Tampa and beat them 4 straight in the first round of the playoffs, which then fueled Tampa to win the cup the next 2 seasons. But he's doing a great job with them. The difference is it's Sandstrom in goal tonight instead of Carter Hart, who's having a phenomenal season thus far. Hot. was having a very good season for him. So we'll see where we go with this one here, but I can't fault you for wanting to lay multiple goals with the Leafs. We'll just see. Off a long road trip, it's never an ideal situation, even early in the season. And you look at what happened last night to the Pittsburgh Penguins. The Pittsburgh Penguins had a 5-2 lead at home against the Bruins and lost 6-5. And they were coming off a road trip in which I think they had lost the last 3 games of that road trip, including losses to the 4 games. They lost 4 games. So it's now 5 in a row for the Pittsburgh Penguins in the loss column. Prez?
I gave out the Penguins yesterday on Wager Talk today, and I was quite disappointed with that comeback, to say the least. Now they're playing Buffalo, dude. Not a good spot for Pittsburgh. It would have been a good spot for Pittsburgh if they didn't have a game yesterday. I never bet teams on back-to-backs, Carm. Do you? I mean, is that something that you just automatically not do?
No, I'll look for spots in which I can go against them. You know what I mean? Before we get into the next game, but it's what I want to do here. Carter Hart played phenomenally yesterday. Somebody asked what was Carm's best bet on yesterday's show. I took the Rangers in regulation time, and Carter Hart just stood on his head in that game, and the Rangers eventually won it in OT. So, yeah, no, he is. So Carter Hart came between me and my show best bet yesterday. So I wasn't happy about that one.
Carm,
but
don't you feel like they're Torts is like doing the Leafs a favor here? It's like, hey, the Leafs are down, everything's bad. We won't put Carter Hart in the net.
Yeah. No, they've gone to Sandstrom, and for this will be the 3rd time, like I said, that they're playing back-to-back. He's been in net for the previous 2, so we'll see how it goes with him on this 3rd night. But it is one of those games where if the Flyers beat the Leafs tonight,
all hell's going to break
loose. It's just going to amplify everything across social media, in the news, and amongst the Toronto fan base, who literally want heads to roll for this Leafs team after those 3 games on the road. It was a good start to the road trip, but then 3-1 loss in, like I said, in Vegas, a loss against the LA Kings, and then they finished with a loss against Anaheim, which they could have saved their road trip, but unfortunately they didn't. With that said, let's get to the Pittsburgh Penguins, who are also on a second of a back-to-back, and I'll have a look at the numbers on this one. The Pens, a -120, a small favorite. The Sabres, even money at home. The over-under is 6.5. And when you look at this same scenario here, Prez, Casey DeSmith will be in goal tonight in the second of a back-to-back for Pittsburgh. This is their 3rd back-to-back of the year. Casey DeSmith has played the 2 previous back-to-backs. What's he done? He's lost them both. 4-1 loss at Calgary, a 3-1 loss to the Seattle Kraken. So another goalie being used, backup goalie being used in the second of a back-to-back, another goalie who was 0-2 in the 2 previous back-to-backs. And then you look at the Sabres. They scored 8 goals against the Detroit Red Wings. Tage Thompson, monster game, 6 points, 3 goals, 3 assists. Comrie, his last 3 games, he's 1 win, 2 losses. That 1 win was this 8-3 win, but he only stopped 15 of the 18 shots on goal. 3.34 goals against average for this Sabres goalie, and we saw those stats at the beginning. They're 28th or 29th in 5-on-5 goal expectancy defense. I'm going to look at this one from the totals point of view, and I'm going to take the over, because the Penguins are going to get theirs, and I have to figure the Sabres are going to get theirs. Yep. So I'm leaning over 6.5 here. What are your thoughts, Prez?
Yeah, listen, Carm, before I get into that, I'm going to just be a little bit of a dick, if you will. There are 216 people watching this show. I know how loyal the fans are of Puck Time, and especially of you and Andrew. You guys do an unbelievable job. You get on the show every single day at some ungodly hour of 11 p.m. Who the hell is up at that time? There's 16 likes. I refuse to give out my best bet on this show unless we get to 40. Like, I just refuse. Like, I'm insulted by 16 likes. Like, and not from me, Carm. Like, do you not deserve at least one of 4 people taking 1 second to hit the like button? I think you deserve at least half. We're at 223. You should have 100 likes. Come on, guys.
Yes,
Come on.
But our Puck Time community, which I absolutely love, they like to take notes, write things down, get plays, and then they show their gratitude at the end. So we're a back heavy like show. So we got a ton of likes towards the end of the show, which is what makes our community as great as it is.
Now we're at 49.
But before you give, well, you've got 49. That's good enough. We will hit 100.
I got to talk about the Pittsburgh game.
Yeah, and let's hear it.
I like the over. I told you that at the beginning of the game, and it's at the beginning of the show, and it's really simple. You know, when Buffalo goes under, it's because they keep teams from scoring. They're not some defensive juggernaut under any circumstances. Pittsburgh's going to get theirs, exactly what you said. Buffalo theirs. Surprised this number isn't 7 because we are seeing a lot of 7s on a regular basis. I'm with you, Carm. I like the over in this game. I lean on Pittsburgh here because they've just got to turn this around, and I want to bet Pittsburgh, but they played yesterday, and I don't bet teams on back-to-backs. We're going the same direction, brother. We're going the same way on the Leafs. We're going the same way on Pittsburgh and Buffalo.
All right. I want to throw a couple of things at you because we always talk about trends or finding a number, finding a line that you can bet, and hopefully it stays sort of where it just the books wait a while before they juice it. And I've talked about on the show about Brian Rust of Pittsburgh. His shot totals were always at 2.5, but it was a minus 120, minus 125. Again, he goes over the total yesterday, but the juice is minus 160 now. I can't play a minus 160 on a shot prop. Here's another interesting one for you. The Seattle Kraken, Prez, their team total is always at 2.5. They have gone over the team total, and it's not juiced 7 straight times now, including last night where they scored 5 against the Calgary Flames. That was my only loss yesterday. I had the Calgary Flames on the puck line. I went 3-1 for NHL clients yesterday at Wager Talk, but 4-2 lead for Calgary, and Seattle scores 3 goals, wins 5-4, but 7 straight times. And sometimes these trends, you can make money off of these until the books catch up with them. God bless Alex B. Smith. We know he put us on the Chicago Blackhawks first period overs. And you remember, Prez, those ones were not juiced. And then eventually after 19
like
or 20.
26 in a row or something. It was insane.
So I talk to Alex every once in a while. He made me some money on that one. So Alex, if you're out there watching, thank you very much for that. Okay, Prez, I'm going to be on the show later today. We're going to talk some more sports, of course, but let's talk best bets and what you have up at Wager Talk, because you've been on a tremendous roll.
Yeah, well, listen, since the beginning of October, it's been insane winning. I just want to make mention, Northwest Box Breaks. He's a listener and a watcher. He writes, why does Prez need validation from the public? I don't need any validation from the public. I am literally one of the most handsome, smart, witty guys you'll ever meet in your life. I'm a kick-ass businessman and an even better lover. So I need no validation. The reason we ask for likes is because the algorithm of YouTube, there are a lot of people that are doing these type of shows all over YouTube. We are by far the largest, by far. Nobody's even close. And the reason that is because we have 106,000 subscribers. We get likes in every show we do. We have people commenting during the show and after the show. The YouTube algorithm works all of those into account in order to figure out which piece of content goes higher up on the list. I don't ask for likes for validation. I ask for likes for business. And I think it's totally reasonable, given how much free content we give out, that you guys could take 1 second and hit the like button. By the way, Northwest, I do appreciate that you think I'm pretty handsome. Lots of love. My best bet,
I think
North
was talking about me, by the way.
No,
I think he meant me as the handsome one.
Well, you are really.
No,
dude,
listen.
If you're into dad bods with no hair, handsome is Carm.
I have always said I've got a face made for radio, so I'm perfectly fine with that. Give us your best bet, Prez.
Austin Matthews over 4.5 shots tonight. Look, I wanted to bet Austin Matthews to score a goal, but it's minus 170, and that's a little tough. I think we're going to see Austin flying. I think this is going way over the total. I would not be surprised if Austin gets us to 7 shots tonight, which gives us a fair window. So Austin Matthews over 4.5 shots. If you can find the anytime goal for under 150, I like that as well, but that's my best bet. Oh, and what do I have going tonight? I got NBA. I have at least 2 NBA plays. I have not. I'm down to 3. I don't know whether I'm still doing work, but I will have at least 2 NBA plays up tonight. I have 1 NHL play and 1 baseball play. And man, Carm, I went 7-2 on Sunday, 4-2 on Monday, 4-2 on Tuesday. Absolutely rolling. So thank you for pointing that out.
All right. Continue to roll, sir. Roll right off the screen. There we go. Thank you, producer Dan. With that said, my show best bet is going to be, I'm going to go to the Pittsburgh game, and I'm not going Rust. I'm going to go with Gunsel. Since coming back a couple games, he's gone over his shot total prop in both of them with 4 and 5 yesterday. So I'm going to go over 3.5 shots, minus 135. And that, guys, is also a client play. So you've gotten my only 2 client plays today absolutely free because I'm not putting them up for sale. I've got the Leafs minus 1.5 and Gunsel over 3.5 minus 135. A couple of freebies for you. We'll put them back up on the screen there. There they are. I've got Jake over 3.5 shots on goal minus 135. Prez has got Austin Matthews over 4.5 shots minus 140. Guys, we'll be back tomorrow with a mystery guest yet to be named. And as Brian Leonard is traveling tomorrow, will not be on the show. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I appreciate all the likes. Best of luck tonight, and we will see you tomorrow, same time, same channel, 11 a.m.
Have you checked out all the new handicappers at Wager Talk? If not, here's your chance. You can take 50% off your first daily or 3-day all-access purchase at Wager Talk using coupon code TRYWT. Our new roster of experts is 30 deep, covering sports from all around the world, giving you tons of options to choose from. All you have to do to redeem this offer is go to wagertalk.com, choose a handicapper of your choice, and use coupon code TRYWT at checkout, saving 50% on your first purchase.